Now you may be in the market for a new driver, and if you're watching this video, you probably are. Now if you walk into your pro shop right now, you're going to see two of these drivers that I've got for this video. One of them is the TaylorMade Qi4D driver, and the other is the Ping G440 Max driver. Now nothing's going to beat going to get fit by your foremost professional team to see which driver is going to work best for you. But to help you with your decision, I'm going to break this into three categories for you. I'm going to give you an idea of what they look like to me, how they sound and feel, and then ultimately what the performance is like with these two drivers. So let's get into the video and see how they perform. Now for me, first impressions is everything. Does the driver inspire you to pick it up off the shelf and take it out onto the golf course? And if we kind of look at both these drivers, they are slightly different in their first impressions and looks. If we take the TaylorMade, we've got a very much like a carbon effect all the way around the top of the driver. And the shape of the driver is more like a pear shape in comparison to what we're seeing out of the Ping. We've got a nice white streak that runs across the top part of the driver, which kind of blends from the top into the face itself. And then we've got that TaylorMade logo that sits on top, making it really easy to line up to the golf ball. If we look at the face itself, we've got these white streaks that bring your eyes into the center part of that driver, once again making it really easy to line up. But the big standout is that carbon kind of look on the face itself. And if we compare that to the Ping, which is not always going to be to everyone's taste when it comes to those turbulators that sit on top of them, but they're there for a reason. They're for aerodynamics, and that blends nicely into that carbon look on the back there. Now, whereas TaylorMade had a nice little logo on the front there, Ping don't have that. But if you work out where these turbulators are, they're right in the center point, allowing us to frame up to that ball really quite nicely. The face itself, a little bit more traditional looking with that titanium face, but again, very similar to the TaylorMade. We've got those white lines that bring your eyes right into the center part of that driver, making it really easy to line up. So both quite different in their approaches and profiles, but I think one's going to jump out to you more than the other. Then the next really important aspect of any driver is how does it sound and how does it feel off the club face? Well, if we start off with the TaylorMade, I mean, my first thoughts on this, being as it's got the carbon face on it, is that we're going to get more of a dull sound off the face. And you've got to remember, these drivers have been created in inspiration of tour players. What do tour players want to feel and hear when they hit their drives? So let's give this one a go to start us off with. And yes, absolutely, we've got that kind of loud sound to it, but we've also got a bit of a dull sound to it. So it's definitely giving me that thought that this is more of a carbon kind of thuddy kind of sound, and felt really, really good. Then we move into the Ping, and this one I'm expecting for it to sound just a little bit different. I'm going to expect it to sound a little bit more pingy off the face, and the reason for that is because, as I said to you before, we've got a carbon face now moving into a titanium face. So I'm expecting it to sound maybe just a little bit more metal and a little bit more, well, louder, should we say. And actually, to be fair, it is fractionally louder. It is slightly tinnier off the face, more of a Ping effect. But it's not loud. It's a nice kind of a dull Ping, should we call it. And all in all, I think for me personally, I much prefer more of a duller sound than a loud sound. But for lots of you out there, I know the louder sound out of the Ping might just give you that little bit more confidence that you've hit it just that little bit further. Now ultimately, when you've used a driver long enough, you're going to get used to the sound. You're actually going to get used to the visuals of your driver. But it's the performance that's really, really important. And if I take a look at the performance of these two drivers, if we look at the TaylorMade, I'm getting 150 mile an hour ball speed. I'm actually increasing that ball speed with the Ping up to 151, so 1 extra mile an hour ball speed. However, from a launch point of view, from a launch window, I'm getting a pretty good 14 degrees launch out of that TaylorMade compared to a little bit probably too high out of the Ping at 16. But if we look at the spin numbers, 2.3, nearly 2.4 out of the TaylorMade compared to 2.2, nearly 2.3 out of the Ping. So getting a little bit less spin out of that Ping, which then in turn is hitting it maybe a fraction higher with the Ping and giving me a 260 yard carry compared to the TaylorMade at 4 yards less at 256 yards. But where the TaylorMade kind of wins over the Ping to a degree in this setting, and remember these are both 9-degree drivers, I'm getting a little bit of a tighter dispersion out of that TaylorMade than I am the Ping. It's not a lot, but it's just a fraction tighter, and probably that extra spin on the TaylorMade just giving me that dispersion coming in there a little bit. So you can say that the Ping has kind of won when it comes to ball speed or yardage, but the TaylorMade has also won because it's launching really well and its spin control is really good, but a good fitting can get them both into a really good window. And talking about fitting, if we look at the bottom of these drivers, the TaylorMade just offering me maybe a little bit more when it comes to moving weight around with those 4 ports there, whereas the Ping has that one rail on the back which can be moved into kind of fade, into neutral and into draw. So the fitting options are there, and this is the important part. Go and have a conversation with your Foremost professional team, book yourself in for a fitting with both of these drivers and see which one is going to work best for your game this season.